What if Yoda saved Anakin on Mustafar? In Revenge of the Sith, we witnessed the epic duel between Anakin and Obi-Wan, as well as Palpatine and Yoda. By the end, Yoda lost. Meanwhile, Obi-Wan sliced Anakin down, leaving him to burn until Palpatine later saved him. But what if things were different? What if Yoda was the one to save Anakin on Mustafar? How different would things have been if he was the one to save him, not Palpatine? Well, in this alternate timeline, that's exactly what we'll be diving into. So let's get right into it. Our story begins just moments after the climactic duel between Yoda and Darth Sidious. Throughout the battle that would dictate the future of the galaxy, Yoda and Sidious were pretty evenly matched, until the very end. Using all his power in the dark side, Sidious was able to overwhelm Yoda and eventually knock him to the ground. Despite all of Yoda's wisdom and strength, he couldn't destroy the Dark Lord of the Sith. The duel ended in failure for him, and with that, the Republic's last chance of salvation died. The battle was lost, or at least that's what it seemed like. As Yoda fled in the tunnel beneath, he contacted his good friend Bail Organa right away.
Harry, careful timing we will need.
Activate your homing beacon when you're ready.
In time, Yoda reunited with Bail, but as Bail looked at his old friend, he noticed something was off. Yoda was devastated, defeated. The Grand Master of the Order that was once filled with so much light and hope was now torn apart. He looked as if he didn't have any fight left in him.
Into exile I must go. Failed I have.
This wasn't the Yoda he knew. No, Bail refused to allow Yoda to go down that path. Not yet, at least. As long as they were still around, they had a chance to fight back.
No, Master Yoda. Not yet. The fight is far from over. I'm taking you back to the Tentive, and we're contacting Master Kenobi right away. He needs you. Senator Amedda needs you. Most of all, the Republic needs you.
Yoda looked up at Bail. At that moment, everything hit him at once. How he was blinded for so many years that he couldn't see the Darth Sidious all along. How he allowed the Jedi Order to enter this war in the first place. And most of all, how he had lost his way over these past years. Because of him, thousands of Jedi across the galaxy were dead. Because of him, Darth Sidious was now the Emperor of the Galaxy, and his apprentice young Skywalker. Bail was right. Obi-Wan did need him. Obi-Wan must still be fighting Skywalker now, and depending on how that fight went, everything could shift. Maybe, just maybe, there was still hope left. He was the Grand Master of the Order. He couldn't give up. Not yet. As Yoda and Bail returned to the ship, they tried contacting Obi-Wan multiple times, but no response. As the seconds passed, Yoda grew uneasy. He was troubled. He couldn't reach Obi-Wan, and there's been no confirmation that he even survived this fight against young Skywalker. So, Yoda knew what he had to do. He had to take matters into his own hands. So, away from Bail and everyone else on the ship, Yoda meditated in the Force. He closed his eyes and went deep in thought, seeing as to where Obi-Wan could be. He knew he followed Padme, but the question is, where? What planet in this large vast galaxy? Yoda closed his eyes. As his connection deepened, he sensed a mix of different emotions. He sensed pain, screams, lava, a planet with lava, volcanoes everywhere. Then it hit him. Mustafar. That's where Yoda had to go. Using a transport, Yoda soon arrived on the planet Mustafar, but as he did, he noticed something odd. On the nearby landing platform, he saw a Jedi interceptor in what seemed to be young Skywalker's ship. However, nowhere was Padme's ship. Normally, anybody could spot a J-type Naboo star skiff, but it was nowhere to be found. What happened here, he thought to himself. Yoda's mind was racing, but he did his best to remain calm and stay in the moment. For close to 900 years, he's given Jedi that same advice, so now it was his turn to follow it. Eventually, Yoda finally arrived on the surface, and as he did, there was much darkness surrounding the atmosphere. Whatever had transpired here, it wasn't good. But he had no time to waste, so he went searching for answers. More so though, he followed his instincts. As Yoda made his way through the blackened shores, it was there where he witnessed the unthinkable. Young Skywalker, burned by the lava below him. He was broken and barely recognizable, but Yoda sensed him right away. Clearly, his body had been ravaged by fire, and he's been almost mutilated. But despite it, the darkness surrounding him was beyond measure. Yoda had never felt such darkness in a person before, but he felt it in Anakin. Rage, anger, hatred. However, as Yoda looked closer at him, he locked on to his burn-melted eyes.
How feel you?
Cold, sir.
Your thoughts dwell on your mother.
I miss her.
Premonitions. These visions you have.
They're of pain, suffering, death.
Yourself you speak of, or someone you know?
Someone.
Careful you must be sensing the future, Anakin. The fear of loss is a path to the dark side.
I won't let these visions come true, Master Yoda.
As flashbacks ran through Yoda's head, he took a hard, closer look at Anakin. He originally came here to save Obi-Wan and potentially face Skywalker if need be, but now he felt a shift. As he looked at Anakin, he didn't see this dark, twisted human that he had become. Instead, he saw the boy from Tatooine, the courageous Padawan, the hero who fought beside the Republic during the Clone Wars. Anakin was troubled, yes. There were signs of darkness too, but what if it was his own fault? What if it was his own failures? His failure to guide Anakin, to mentor him more than he should have. He already failed in defeating Sidious and saving the Jedi Order. The least he can do here is save this young boy. However, as Yoda continued to look at Anakin, he then felt something else. Something that he didn't even think was possible. A tiny spark. Beneath all the hatred and suffering, there was a tiny spark of light that remained in him. It was weak and it was fading, but it was there. The good that once defined Anakin Skywalker had not been entirely extinguished yet, and that's all Yoda needed to know. That was enough for him. However, as he locked eyes onto Anakin, he felt a dark disturbance once more. This time though, it wasn't coming from Anakin. It was something else. Something sinister. Yoda looked above. Sidious. That was Sidious's shuttle. So at that moment, Yoda knew he had to act quickly. He had to bring Anakin aboard and leave at once. So Yoda then approached him even closer and reached his hand out right above him. As he did, Anakin looked up, seeing who was in front of him.
You! What are you doing here?
Yoda could tell it was painful for him to even speak. He was too weak. However, Yoda didn't respond, as his main focus was stabilizing his failing body. By using the Force, Yoda believed he could help Anakin here, even by just a bit. He knew it wouldn't be enough to heal the terrible damage, but it would help preserve his life at least. So, Yoda was able to stabilize him, and after that, he used the Force to gently lift him in the air. From there, he would take him aboard his ship and bring him to safety right away.
Master Yoda, I'm here with Master Kenobi. He's safe.
Yoda sighed with relief.
However, we need you on Polis Massa at once.
Polis Massa, you say?
Yes, we're here with Senator Amedda. She's in critical condition.
Yoda nodded, but he was worried. Senator Amedda? Critical condition? Yoda's mind started to spiral, but he did his best to focus on the present.
On my way I am.
As Yoda arrived, he was quickly approached by Obi-Wan, who met him outside the medical facility. At first, the two were glad to see each other, considering what a dark time this was. But as they locked eyes, Obi-Wan sensed unease in Yoda.
Master Yoda, something's troubling you. But I sense it's something far larger than Padme's current condition.
Yoda sighed.
Come with me inside the ship, young Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan nodded, and from there the two entered the ship. However, as they did, it was there where Obi-Wan witnessed the unthinkable. His fallen apprentice. His brother. Anakin. He was burnt, barely recognizable, and barely even moving. Obi-Wan looked horrified by what he was seeing. He felt sick inside. Pain rushed all throughout his body. His chest felt tight. So, he quickly rushed back outside, unable to process what he just saw. Obi-Wan froze. His mind rushed. Part of him couldn't believe that Anakin survived, but even more than that, he was horrified that he was the one that did this to him. He felt guilty. He felt horrible. However, at the same time, he was worried about Padme. He couldn't allow Anakin anywhere near her. He saw what he did to her on the landing platform. He saw what he was capable of.
Master Yoda, I'm sorry, but you've made a grave mistake. You need to get him away from here at once, before he wakes up.
Yoda stayed silent.
You weren't there. You didn't witness what I witnessed, Master. You were right about him. He is consumed by darkness, consumed by this Darth Vader. Anakin is gone, Master. Because of him, Padme is barely alive. Because of him, this empire is now waving their flag across the galaxy. Bail mentioned you went looking for me, but saving him... I'm sorry, Master, but how could you save him?
Consumed by Darth Vader he is. Terrible things he has done. However, fully gone he is not. A chance there may be in redeeming young Skywalker.
Redeeming? Even if by some miracle he did own up to his actions, redeem himself and come back to the light, Master, he'd be serving the rest of his life in a cell.
Better in our care he is than at Sidious's side.
Obi-Wan paused. He didn't even think of that. Sidious. Sidious of all people must be looking for Anakin. He was his dream apprentice. Without Anakin, he must be...
Come, Obi-Wan. Get him immediate care, we must.
Obi-Wan went deep in thought. He didn't like the idea of this. He didn't like having Anakin anywhere near Padme, or even the fact alone that now they would have a high target on their back. Knowing this Sidious person, he would go to any lengths possible to find Anakin, and now that might lead him to all of them. However, at the same time, he knew Master Yoda has been alive far longer than he has. He's seen many different life cycles come and go. He knows right from wrong, and most of all, his connection to the Force is unlike anybody he's ever met. Yoda could easily give up here, accept his failures, and maybe go into exile somewhere. But he wasn't. He had hope, and that's all that Obi-Wan needed to hear.
Very well, Master, but...
Obi-Wan's comlink chimed.
It's bail. It must be urgent.
Go! Bring Skywalker to the facility, I will.
All right, Master, but please, for Padme's safety, keep him far away.
I already know that I do, Obi-Wan. Now, go!
In time, Obi-Wan rushed back inside the medical facility to bail in Padme. However, as he arrived, he witnessed the unthinkable. Something he never expected. Padme was giving birth to twins. So, Obi-Wan assisted her throughout it all, and soon she gave birth to two beautiful children, Luke and Leia. Not long after this though, she started losing the will to live. Her heart, it was breaking. She saw what Anakin had become. She saw the monster he turned into. She couldn't witness it anymore. He was the person she loved, the person she saw her future with, everything. So, Padme slowly started dying in front of Obi-Wan and her two children, and in time she released her final breath. In those final moments though, she reminded Obi-Wan the same thing that Yoda told him, that there was still good in Anakin. Yoda saw it, Padme saw it, and now Obi-Wan tried to see it for the first time. So with one last breath, Padme was gone, and now Luke and Leia would unfortunately never get to know their mother. Obi-Wan was shattered and heartbroken, but he knew he had to be strong, for her and for her two children. A few hours had passed since Padme's death, and during that time, Obi-Wan met with Yoda once more and told him everything. He told him what happened, about the twins, and what Padme said in her final moments. Yoda was heartbroken about this news, but Obi-Wan did make a good point, and that was that they had to protect the children by any means. Not long after losing to Sidious, Yoda was ready to give up, but now it was almost as if he had a new purpose for living. The twins. He had to protect them. He failed to protect the Jedi Order, so the least he could do now is protect them. So, to keep the twins safe, they were kept in a separate part of the facility with Yoda and Bail Organa. Meanwhile, Obi-Wan stood in front of a surgery table that held Anakin Skywalker. For the last few hours, Anakin was put under anesthetic, and throughout that time, the medical droids put him through an emergency reconstruction. They stabilized him, cleaned his wounds, treated his burns, and most of all, replaced his lost limbs with temporary prosthetics. However, now the surgery was complete, and knowing that Anakin would wake up soon, Obi-Wan wanted to speak to him himself. Just them two, master and apprentice. Eventually, he finally woke up, and his blazing yellow Sith eyes locked onto Obi-Wan, all filled with anger, hatred, and bitterness.
Where is Padme?
Using all his strength, Anakin began crushing everything in sight. The medical equipment, the droids, everything. Obi-Wan began to panic. He knew he wasn't strong enough to hold him back. Any second, he would tear this place apart. So, he did what he did best. Negotiated.
She's gone, Anakin.
Anakin froze. Everything in the room came to a stop.
What did you say?
Obi-Wan took a deep breath.
She's gone. She lost the will to live.
Liar! She was alive. I felt it.
During your operation, she chose death instead of seeing what you've become.
Anakin stayed silent.
Anakin, I'm sorry. For all of it, I'm so sorry for what happened. I'm sorry for not being the mentor you needed in your life.
Padme is dead.
Yeah. Anakin! Anakin!
Using his strength, Anakin clenched his mechanical hand and force-choked Obi-Wan. Grief turned into rage. Rage turned into violence. The Force exploded outward in a violent storm of fury. Machines tore free from walls. Metals twisted through the air, and the entire room trembled beneath the power of the Chosen One's anguish. Then he threw Obi-Wan back against the wall, with debris flying in every direction. With that, Anakin then began to free himself from his cuffs, ready to cause havoc. As he did, Obi-Wan lay there on the ground, hopeless and injured. At that moment, it seemed like it was truly over for him. But then, using the little strength he had left, Obi-Wan force-pulled a large metal strip and stabbed it right through Anakin's chest. Although it hurt him inside to do so, he had to protect himself. He had to. Now, Anakin lied there on the ground, moaning in pain and agony, until... out of nowhere, Yoda entered through the doors beside them. However, Anakin wasn't Yoda's concern. Obi-Wan was. So, Yoda rushed over to Obi-Wan to see if he was alright.
Master Kenobi!
Obi-Wan started to pick himself up.
I'm okay, Master.
Obi-Wan slowly got up, and soon they both looked down at Anakin, who was still breathing. But barely.
Anakin. I'm so sorry.
Anakin looked into Obi-Wan's eyes.
I am not your failure, Obi-Wan.
As Anakin said this, Obi-Wan didn't feel the same rage and anger he felt in him just moments ago. He felt a shift in Anakin. So at that moment, he made a risky decision, but one that he knew he had to do.
Anakin, when I told you that Padme died, I didn't tell you one thing.
Anakin stayed silent, barely holding on to each breath.
She left you a gift. Twins. 2 beautiful children.
As Obi-Wan said this, Anakin's blazing yellow and red eyes shifted back to his natural blue, something Obi-Wan thought was never possible. Yoda, Padme, they were right. There was still good in him.
Children.
Yes, Anakin, you're a father.
Anakin paused. He was speechless.
I'm sorry, Master.
It's okay, Anakin. I forgive you.
Obi-Wan looked up at Yoda.
Master, contact the nearest medical doctor here. We can save him.
No.
No, Anakin, I just got you back. I've got to save you.
Let me be with Padme. Please, Obi-Wan.
As Anakin looked into Obi-Wan's eyes, he looked devastated, but yet at the same time, he seemed at peace. Obi-Wan had no words.
I love you, Obi.
With one final breath, Anakin let go. It was done. Anakin Skywalker was dead. As Anakin released his last breath, Obi-Wan shed a tear. He was heartbroken, torn inside. Was this all his fault?
Take the blame for this, you cannot, Obi-Wan.
But Master,
Consumed by hate and anger, he no longer was. Skywalker letting go was an act of selflessness, Obi-Wan.
As Yoda said this, he closed his eyes, not in triumph, but in mourning for the young man they love and the future that would never come to pass.
I know, I loved him.
Know that I do, Obi-Wan. A great master you were, and a great mentor you will be for his children.
You were right about him, Master. There was still good buried beneath him.
Yoda nodded.
Thank you. Without you, I never would have had that clarity with him. I just hope wherever he is, he's at peace now, Master.
He is, Master Kenobi. He is.
How? How do you know that?
Sense it, I do. One with the Force he is now.
Obi-Wan nodded.
We must take the children somewhere where the Emperor will not sense their presence. If he learns of their existence, he will try to turn them just as he did with Anakin.
Hidden, safe they must be. Though a far planet I do, one far from the Empire's reach.
Obi-Wan nodded.
And what of their training? With the Emperor without an apprentice, we may have a better chance at reclaiming this galaxy, Master.
Too powerful the Empire is, even without Skywalker. Patience we must have.
Obi-Wan nodded.
With the right training, powerful they will be together, and when the time is right, a new hope they will be.
My lord, we have continued our hunt for Lord Vader, but have found no trace. We have battalions spread across every sector at the galaxy, but...
Discontinue your search. I sense Lord Vader will no longer be an asset to our galactic empire. It seems he has chosen a different path.
Understood, my lord.
Show yourself. I know you are here. Impossible. You are dead. I sensed it.
What you sensed was the death of Darth Vader. I am very much alive.
So, you have chosen weakness.
Compassion is never a form of weakness. You are just too corrupted and blind to see it.
I gave you power. I gave you purpose. I gave you the means to become greater than the weak and pathetic Jedi who held you back. And it seems after all that, you chose a different path. You cannot go back in time, Lord Vader. The younglings you slaughtered, the lives you took, nothing will ever forgive you for your actions. You are nothing.
You're right. I did all of those terrible things, and I'll forever carry that with me. But if there's one thing I learned, it's that your past does not dictate your future, and the thing you fear most is the one thing I was able to overcome.
And that is?
Death.
Palpatine froze.
I wish you luck, Emperor, because you'll soon be needing it.